I think moving abroad doesn't have to be painful.
Moving abroad taught me to be quite open-minded and open to diversity.
When you go and live in other countries, you start to appreciate your own country as well.
But the biggest is perhaps to find someone that guides you through the process of finding new people in different places.
I came back a lot braver.
It has taught me to never take anything for granted, but everything can be worked out and you'll get there eventually.
So I'm Wren, I'm the creative director of Beacon. So I moved to London about 10 years ago from Canada. I didn't know anyone. I came to study interior design, so I did a one-year post-grad in architectural interior design. It was a big adventure because I'd never been to London, I'd never been to Europe. I just came with a suitcase and I loved it. I'm so grateful to have ended up here. So I moved to the UK to do an interior design degree. Before I came to the UK, I did an undergraduate in oil painting and art history. And then in Canada, to study interior design, you often have to do another 4-year undergraduate degree. So I heard about a school called the Inchbald School of Design, which offered a post-grad. And I thought, wow, it would be really exciting to come to London, which is this sort of hub of creativity. I'd never been, and study interior design in London. So that's why I did it. So I stayed really luckily in student accommodation in Russell Square. So I was so lucky to land in such an amazing part of London. And I just walked around and looked at these beautiful gardens and houses, and then I started school right away, and actually the Inchbald is very intense. So I was working really long hours, but I spent a lot of time walking around and just looking. And feeling the history of the city, the artists and the writers that lived here, especially in Russell Square. It's an amazing history, just taking it all in. When I moved to the UK, I think the most difficult thing was finding my sense of place. London is a huge city, there's so many different neighbourhoods, and I didn't have a strong network of friends, so finding community through friendship, through neighborhood, through the coffee shop that I love or the food market. I think that's what I struggled with the most, but once I found it, it made me feel very rooted and really created a sense of home for me. The hardest part about living abroad is missing my friends and family. I wish I could bring everyone to London, but now that COVID restrictions are lifting, it's great to be able to go and travel more. I love my neighbourhood actually, so I live in Belsize Park, so I'm close to England's Lane and Regent's Park Road, and I love both of those streets. So I go for lots of walks to the coffee shops. I love the clothing stores, the shoe shops. I know the shop owners, so yeah, I'd say those two streets are my favourite hangouts. So my design studio is called Beacon, and at Beacon we create spaces that stimulate well-being and purpose. And what I really love about Beacon is we take time to really get to know the clients and really unpick what the concept of home means for them. So a lot of people think that they have an idea of what they'd like in their space, but they often reference sort of similar things or things that they think are on trend. And the way that we work with clients is to really unpick what home really means to them. So as an expat myself, aspects of my life in Canada, they really come forward into what home means for me. So I intentionally bring in those elements, and that's how I work with clients as well, really unpicking what home means for them and then creating it in their space. So at Beacon, really creating a sense of home for our clients is what we're all about. So I really want people to feel anchored in their home, to feel safe, like it really represents them and their family. And I think that's what makes the collaboration with Settl'in so beautiful, because it's all about, creating a sense of home for expats. I think Beacon's been going for about just over a year now, although I've been designing for about 10 years. And the main issue for our clients is actually helping them discover what home means for them and what spaces are really soothing for them as an individual. So we work with them to unpick what I call their sensory profile, so how they're affected by light, sound, textures, visual aesthetics, all sorts of things, so that we can create a space that really hugs them and works for them. So I'd say actually unpicking that is the main thing that we do for clients, and then the outcome is obviously create a beautiful home for them. So Settl'in really resonates with me. When I heard about it, I just thought it was such a beautiful concept, because as an expat myself, it's taken a really long time actually for me to feel a sense of a deep sense of connection to where I live. And having found it, it's had such a positive impact on my life. I feel very grounded and anchored. So for a business to offer that to expats to sort of speed up the process or the journey that I went on, I just think that's really beautiful.